Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do? You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
What up, film fans? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to episode 369. Welcome to Fright Night. You're listening to another new episode of the Cine-Men movie podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Juan, and I am joined by the cast, the crew. Zach?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry, I had the wrong movie up, wrong poster up. So
Nice.
Yeah, we're talking Fright Night. It is the start of spooky season. Are you excited?
It is the start of spooky season. It is the first episode of October. We're talking Fright Night. Zach's losing his voice. I'm deaf in this air. It has been an absolute crazy week here in the southern parts of Oklahoma City. It is Tuesday, October the 7th, 5:30 p.m., 2025. And Zach, man, how have you been?
Other than feeling like I'm dying the last 24 hours, I've been pretty good. I would say we would do recent watches, but my voice ain't gonna hold up that long.
If there's one thing I can say, it doesn't matter the rain, snow, sleet, shine, COVID,
tornadoes,
flu, we develop and we produce a brand new episode every week. And I got to say, I could not do this, and this show could not go on like this without the fabulous work that you guys do. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about Zach. I'm talking about Ed, Jay, Craig, everybody who's been a part of this. Thank you. We had just celebrated our 7th season. A little slight change in the schedule too, but we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit later on. Zach, let's dig into Fright Night. Currently, right now, IMDb has this at a 6.4. Rotten Tomatoes at a 72%. The Metascore is a 64%. Letterboxd is at a 3.0 out of 5 with a budget of $30 million. The box office grossed a little over $41 million to the box office with a August 19th, 2011 release date. This movie stars Anton Yelchin, Colin Farrell, Toni Collette, Christopher Mintz Plassey, Imogen Poots, Dave Franco, Sandra Vergara, Chris Sarandon, and Will Denton. Also, I know he's in here.
David Tennant.
Yes. Mm-hmm. When a new neighbor moves in next door, a young man discovers that he is an ancient vampire who preys on the community. So, Zach, I'll answer first, but do you remember the first time you seen this? And what was it like revisiting it for the podcast? I'll go first. I'm going to say that this movie, and I did rewatch the original before this, but I always have to say that this movie is an absolute underrated gem. The first time I seen it, I'll talk about my recent watch, but I really have to say, if I had to say in one word, enjoyable compared to the original. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I would agree, man. I actually got the original ticket stub, saw it in theaters. It was the second movie I saw when I moved up to Stillwater to go to college. It was a double feature between this and Conan the Barbarian with Jason Momoa, if you remember that. I actually saw it in 3D as well. I've always liked this movie. I've always I wouldn't say it's like a yearly tradition to watch during Halloween, but it's definitely one that I always look forward to when I haven't rewatched it in a while. So,
yeah, let's kind of dig into it. I think this movie, like I said at the beginning, is an underrated remake gem.
mhm.
I think this is one of those movies that completely redefines the reboots / remakes. And like you said, I don't know if I'm going to pick this up every spooky season and revisit it, but at least for this time around, it was definitely a joy to watch. It does
Mhm.
not feel like a hour and 45-minute movie.
No, and I totally agree. It's definitely the pacing's awesome. My first note I have about it, it's a fun remake. It stays true to the original, but it still kind of does its own thing. Probably more specifically, a lot of people I think this movie gets a lot of crap because I think what made the original such a classic is that it happened in like any suburban neighborhood. This one is like a subset neighborhood out in the middle of the desert outside of Las Vegas, which the concept of that is actually quite interesting in the idea that Jerry can pick off his victims left and right. There's really nowhere to hide, and that's kind of what I like about it. That's one of the aspects of the movie that I like.
Yeah, I like the aspects too of Jerry as more of a self-opposed vampire, to where, like in the original, if we're going to compare and contrast, he had like an Igor-like assistant.
Mhm.
And I think this cast is just fun. This movie kind of doesn't take itself too serious, as it shouldn't. But if anything, I feel like this movie is more serious than the original. The original is a little campy, a little pokey. This one, let's not talk about the cast. The all-star cast is phenomenal. You got the
Yeah.
late great Anton Yelchin, Colin Farrell as Jerry is fantastic.
Mhm.
Imogen Poots, don't get me started on her. And then Toni Collette is the mom. You're just like, let me take a breath. Let me breathe. Not to mention you got Dave Franco, McLovin is in here.
Mhm.
So this movie just develops and produces a fun all-star story cast. The only thing I did not like, and this just doesn't age well, and it's the product of its time, and it's a product of its technology at the time, was the 3D, the 3D make you effect.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that doesn't age well, because if you're watching it today, who has 3D TVs anymore? So that to me is something that just I didn't like when I was rewatching it.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say that when I saw it in theaters, the 3D actually worked pretty well, especially the climax of the movie where it's Charlie versus Jerry.
Yeah.
Um, you can definitely tell the scenes that they were meant to be 3D, especially with the CGI blood and everything. Like and it still gets me to this day when when it shows the title of the movie, it's like splattered out in blood. It always visually it messes with me because I can't figure out where the letters line up. And so I have to take like a harder look at it.
See, and if we're going all the way back and just kind of nitpicking around the movie, some more scenes that kind of just doesn't do very well with me, and I want to get your take on this, is I don't enjoy after once he starts looking for the vampire hunter,
Mhm.
and it's the same thing in the original. It kind of falls off for me at that point, and I'm kind of like, is there some pacing issues? Maybe I'm expecting a little bit more. Um, Maybe I'm expecting a little bit more, action, but it just doesn't sit well with me. And I thought the film is almost near perfect from beginning until this scene right here at the cross, after
Oh, well,
after
where
he
he's on the
attacks.
road.
Yeah, where they're on the road. Like, to me, it kind of slows down after this scene.
Well, to me, I felt like that's a good scene. I felt like there was a lot of it was very much like beat by beat. You said you just rewatched the original, so you could probably attest more to it. I've seen the original, but I haven't seen it in years. But I think we can both agree that the action in this one is way better than what's in the original.
Oh yeah, for sure. The action in this movie is way more fast paced, and it does pick up. Um,
I mean, really, the
it's
action set piece, like that scene that you just showed, where he blows up the house and he's like trying to crawl underneath the car, which is actually kind of is a really cool sequence. From there, I mean, it's the penthouse attack, and then essentially back to Jerry's house where it's the final duel, and that's really like the last 45 minutes of the movie. It's just pure action.
Yeah. Like I said, this movie also isn't too much as far as like I'm not sitting there waiting for it to end.
Yeah.
There's some small slow pieces that kind of just didn't set well, but I mean that's just me wanting to nitpick. And I like how the beginning of this movie feels like a teenage coming of age story. It doesn't really feel like a spooky / horror comedy Fright Night.
No, and like I think that's the other big difference is that this is more of a coming in age story, while the original was more of like a campy vampire hunter type thing. You know what I mean? And like I think the biggest difference that they changed, well, there's two big differences. One is Peter Vincent in this is basically Chris Angel to a certain extent, which is kind of weird because the original.
That's funny you said that though.
Which is the original version. Peter Vincent's a horror host, which is like an old school kind of creep show type host that he does like horror stuff and horror stories and stuff. And then the other big difference is Evil Ed. Doesn't he turn into a werewolf in the original? Or he's like a wolf or something like that?
Yeah, I believe so.
So
instead of in this one, he's what, a FedEx driver?
Well, he becomes a vampire.
Yeah, that's true. And I tried not to compare this to the original so much because I'm like, it's such a different time, different cast. But this movie was just so much more fun. I love the cameo by Chris Sarandon. I talked about him in my recent watches a few weeks ago with Child's Play.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, that's it's kind of a fun little little touch bases on. But Fright Night, this 2011 version, there's so many great scenes. If we're talking like the scene where Anton or Charlie is his name in the movie, but like Charlie just, whether he's talking to the neighbor with the word juicy on her pants, or his girlfriend, his new friends that are like, why are you hanging out with this guy, or why does he continue to call your name, with Ed? And it's just like, you're kind of, I honestly, the first 15 minutes kind of forgot this was a spooky movie. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind seeing what continued to happen without the vampire issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just had him up. Dave Franco, he's only in the movie for about maybe 10 minutes, maybe not even that. He has like a good part in it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's so good. Well, speaking of Dave Franco, look, Kyler, he knows his movies. He picked out Neighbors too.
There you go.
Good job, buddy. But I'm at that point. I don't know when we're going to talk about him again. Anton Yelchin.
I miss that guy.
We talked about him in the Star Trek movies. We talked about him in this. We almost did. I don't know if we did for a bonus episode with A24, but he's also in Green Room with Imogen Poots. And this guy's acting,
he was great.
His abilities to just make you feel sorry for him, make you laugh. He could be the guy. He could be the nerd. He could be the douche. He was on point with every acting level in any movie that he does. And I was sitting there watching this the other day, and I'm like, man, it's just the way he passed was just so sad.
Yeah. And
it's just like, talk about this one. Okay, we will. And it's just like, what happens in that situation where,
that's just a freak accident.
Yeah. And I'm just like, what a sad situation.
And it sucks too, because like you just think about you just think about like what his career could have been, past I guess his last big movie was Star Trek Beyond.
Yeah.
And he did a couple of other like little things, but that was like his last big movie, which I guess like I think at this point he was known for that and Terminator Salvation, which is both in the same year. So like I think that was like his coming out party was the 2009 Star Trek.
Yeah, 2009 Star Trek, Green Room. This movie, he was on. It doesn't matter what he dabbled in. He kind of outshined in everything he did. And,
Yeah,
obviously, we're not just saying this because he's no longer with us, but it's true. You guys can go back and look at his filmography for yourself. He
he's a
was
good
just
actor.
just such a diverse actor in everything he touched on and did. So I don't know when we'll get to talk about him again. But and Colin Farrell, what a year Colin Farrell had these last few years. Um, Looking back at this movie, it's like, man, that guy just does not age either.
Yeah, I feel like he's had a real
He
big
is a vampire.
I feel like he's had like a big renaissance in the last like 10 years of his career.
He's just in a new movie, right?
Yeah, talked about it, I think last week or the week before, Big Bold Beautiful Journey, which it's not really in theaters anymore, but I'm sure you could stream it somewhere at this point. It's paid $20.
Yeah. And I think he's doing the Penguin season 2. I think he's
Yep.
got a cameo in the Batman part 2. So this dude is still pushing out just really good content, and his acting skills are always top notch. To me, his greatest movie, if you guys want to go check it out, I believe he's in it, is the Banshees, right?
Yeah, the Banshees of Inisherin. Yep.
Yeah,
He,
I
which a lot of people think he should have won Best Actor for that, which I agree. So,
same. I think that's his masterpiece, man. If you want to see him work and do his best stuff, that movie is top notch.
and another one that's really, really good is since we all know and love A24, The Lobster, where it's like that weird dystopia type film.
Yep.
He's really good in that as well.
So this is the main poster that you saw going to the theaters. It's on the DVD, on the Blu-ray cover. I have the same Blu-ray, but I don't have the slipcase anymore. I'm looking at this photo, and I'm like, that can't be Imogen Poots, is it?
Yeah, that's her.
It just does not look like her.
Yeah, it's like they altered her face or something for the artwork or something.
Yeah.
But I love this poster because it's essentially that summarizes the whole movie.
Yeah. And then if you look at the one that I posted that's on our picture, I'm like, man, that one's a good one too, because don't touch anymore. Because it's just perfect as far as like Colin Farrell in the background, Anton Yelchin just checking him out. And I'm like, man, I had a hard time on choosing which one to pick.
I would have picked that one. The other one, I think the other one's more of a homage to the original 80s version with the cloud vampire face over the house.
Oh yeah, that was good. And we'd have to kind of just touch a little bit. I've never seen them, but both the original and this one had direct to DVD or direct to VHS sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about them. Nobody. I mean, I don't think they're very good at all. But
no.
Where do you think this movie lines up? Whether it's the 80s version or this one, as far as just a flip back popcorn spooky season movie.
Man, I agree with you, man. I think this is a very underrated film that, I think obviously if you grew up in the 80s, then you probably have that nostalgia for the original. But I think this one takes that and takes it a little bit further, and I think it like adds more stuff to it that is enjoyable. I mean, I was looking at the movie itself, and it's actually streaming on Peacock right now, probably for Halloween. So it's I think it's a seasonal type movie that once it gets around September, October, they'll re-release it on streaming so people can watch it again. I'm surprised that this is 10 plus years old. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't got like a cult following, honestly, like the original.
That's what I was gonna say. I think this is so underrated. It just doesn't get talked about enough. It doesn't get viewed enough. And when I had almost a deja vu of like,
that's a better poster of her, actually.
Yeah. I was like, I could have sworn we talked about this at one point, but I think this movie takes the updated version and the updated times and the actors, and it just runs away with the story, with the action. not to say I'm not going to sit here and bash on the original, but this is one of the few select reboots that probably does that does the film justice, or you know,
I think it does justice for a new generation to say, if like, hey, here's an updated version of it, but there's also the original if you want to go back and look at that.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, it says lucky, not juicy.
Yeah. But that's also a great scene where like he actually sees Jerry in action of biting the hot neighbor, and then like he he thinks he's saving her, and then she gets outside and like she blows up essentially.
Let me also point out some more. It's not really negative, but let me also point out I did have some issues with the CGI part. There's some CGI parts in this movie.
Oh
you
yeah.
want you want to touch any bases on that, or?
I would say that it's definitely, this movie came out in 2011, so it's 10 plus years old now. Like I said, it's definitely the CGI is aged, unfortunately.
But I do say I think it's just the probably overusage of the CGI and the 3D effects that kind of take me away from this film. I think if they probably went back to a little bit more prosthetics, I think I would have really
Enjoyed it.
well. I mean, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but I think I would have fell in love with this rewatch.
I think if they had done a lot more practical, this movie would have aged a lot better. I think people would have liked it a lot more.
Oh yeah. And don't get me wrong. I'm gonna, hypothetically speaking, it's just like a relationship with the older movies that you tend to watch. Do I like the movie? Yeah, I like the movie, but am I in love with the movie? No, sir.
Yeah. But like I think I've said on the podcast here recently, I've been just purging a lot of movies. This one was up for the axe, and I was like, I don't think I can get rid of it. It's not, like I said, it's not one that I want to get. It's not one I want to watch all the time. But like when I do, I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad I got it.
Same. And let's talk about purging. Somebody who has 4,000 plus movies. You know how long and how hard it was for me to get rid of just 200?
Yeah.
And that's 200 between, yes, I'm a nerd. I have my movies in film genres, action, drama, horror, suspense, whatever you want to call it. And that's 200 in just comedy, Disney, family, and horror. I didn't even go through drama or collections or action. So yeah, this movie made the cut, and I'm just like, man, there's so much stuff I still have to go through. And stop! Don't touch the buttons. And sorry, Igor is here, messing around with me. And there's just so many things that I just, that awkward moment.
Yeah.
Try Green Tomatoes. Zach, have you ever seen this? I Am Not a Serial Killer with Christopher Lloyd. Yeah. So Mickey Blue Eyes, Flight Risk, A Complete Unknown. There's so many stuff that I haven't even gone through, but I have to say I'm glad this movie made the cut because to me it was a fun rewatch, man, and I couldn't wait to get on here and discuss the movie. But let's talk about some favorite scenes real quick. But before we get to some favorite scenes, join us. Last week, we talked all about highest to lowest, the latest A24 and Denzel film. Check out all of those links on our social media at facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Instagram /Cine-Men Movie Podcast. X is Cinnamon405, or you can email me at CINEMEN921@gmail.com. Last week, man, I did not enjoy highest to lowest. Go back and listen to that conversation. To me, the conversation with you was way more entertaining and fun than the film itself. Spike Lee, A24, Denzel. Go back and listen to me be disappointed.
Yeah.
So
I was expecting a very different conversation. It just turned like total left corner.
But Zach, let's get out of here and let's talk favorite scenes real quick. I know you're not feeling too hot. Favorite scenes for Fright Night.
The final confrontation between Charlie and Jerry is always fun. Him kind of seeing Amy as a vampire for the first time is a cool sequence, which it kind of goes back to what the vampire looked like in the original. where Jerry blows up the family house and he throws the motorcycle at the car was really good. My favorite just one-liner of the movie is when Peter Vincent, after Jerry unleashes all kind of hell, he starts using his like fire gun thing or whatever, and he kills one, and then it malfunctions, and he's like, "Effing eBay." Like that line always cracks me up every single time. What about you?
If I had to pick a favorite scene or two, it would probably be the sequence where Jerry does blow up the house. Literally from that scene where he's trying to get into the house until he kills Chris Sarandon. I'm like, man, that's just an enjoyable sequence. Yeah. And then honestly, the scene where what's his name? Is it Ed delivers the package, and then it's pretty much from that point on till the closing moments. And then the scene where Charlie goes down and finds the neighbor or the girl, and like you said, he takes her out and she just bursts into flames.
Yeah.
So fun movie, like Zach said. Check this out. It's on Peacock. We can't do it any more justice. Fright Night from 2011. There's so many hidden gems in there. And there's so many hidden gems that we're about to uncover this year and next. So hang out with us. It's going to be a fun October. Next week, before we get to a star rating, next week, Texas Chainsaw: The Next Generation. I believe this is on Peacock and Tubi as well. And our Matthew McConaughey continues, and we're talking Matthew McConaughey during spooky season. That'll be Tuesday, October the 14th.
You can stream it free on Amazon Prime, actually. So
Tuesday, October the 21st. Zach, I kind of want to left turn, but I think you're excited for this.
Oh yeah.
We are discussing and having a complete profile piece on the man who invented the word spooky season, Alfred Hitchcock. We're going to rank our top 5 Alfred Hitchcock movies. We're talking all kinds of Alfred Hitchcock films, and we're going to talk about the man's career in 2 weeks on October 21st. And then we end spooky season October the 28th with Frankenweenie.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited. It's going to be a fun cup. Next week's not going to be fun, but the other 2 weeks are going to be fun.
Next week, I promise you, whether you hate or really hate or like the movie, next week's conversation with me and you, Zach, is going to be fun. The movie may not be fun, but the conversation will be.
And just to preface, listeners, the only reason why we're doing this is because Matthew was in the movie. That's the only reason.
Matthew McConaughey. And before we get to star rating again, Zach?
This Saturday, well, depending on what happens, you may hate that movie like me. So,
well, Texas just lost this weekend.
Oh.
And they can't lose back-to-back games, can they?
I don't know. We'll find out. Even without their quarterback, OU's been pretty good, so we'll see.
So we'll find out. But next week, Texas Chainsaw: Next Generation, Matthew McConaughey. Zach, star rating for Fright Night. I'm going to go first. I'm giving this movie a 3. I think to me a 3 is a little bit more than just it's fine. It's really highly enjoyable. The movie just kind of flies by. Love the cast, love the crew. Again, it's not getting anything higher from a 3 from me because it's not something that I'm going to grab and go to every single season. And the rewatchability I'm not in love with. That's my reason it's just a 3. What about you, Zach?
I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna give it a 4. Just the different combinations. I saw it as one of my first movies I saw when I went to college. Like I totally agree with you. It's not the most rewatchable movie, but I get excited to rewatch it. It's like I'm gonna put Fright Night on, and it delivers each time. And I think you got to give credit to that. And the late great Anton Yelchin, Colin Farrell, the whole cast. It's probably what makes this movie so enjoyable, honestly. So
I don't know if this is going to be on my watch list because my son was in my movie section and just picked out some movies. But he wants me to watch Neighbors 2, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, Sonic 2, Pitch Perfect 3 for some reason, and No Hard Feelings.
I was going to say that last one, probably not Kyler's age appropriate, but maybe the other one. And Neighbors 2 maybe not appropriate either.
That's what he picks. But the last few picks he's done pretty good. Casper and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But
I'll
man,
mail I'll mail this to you. Then that way you can watch it with Kyler.
hey, you know what? Maybe you can lend me the digital copy. I'll put it on the Voodoo.
Yeah, I think we'll do that actually. Then that way,
I can
because that
watch
will
it.
be
And you can,
F1 will be an episode probably early next year. So
yeah, I'll watch it and put it on the Voodoo. But anyway, great episode, Zach. Always a fun conversation. I don't know about the movie. I think I can wait for the movie, but I cannot wait for the conversation. Next week, we go back to the McConaissance, Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation on another new episode next week on the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.
it's going to be
Hook 'em.
bonkers.
Hook 'em.